So I released this video to the public on Sunday, May 10th, and I recorded pretty much the entire process in making that video with the voiceover, editing, graphic making, thumbnail, uploading process, and all of that, and I'll be commentating over it, just explaining the whole thing, so enjoy. Alright, so first things first is the voiceover, as that is the main thing that dictates the whole pace of the video, and I can't even start the editing without the voiceover. Obviously, before that comes the script, which I have here. I write up all my scripts in OneNote. I just used it to take notes in like college and high school, and it just kind of stuck. So I have some potential titles up here. I have some notes about the video here, and then I have the whole script right here. I aim for around 2,500 words. This one was on the longer end because it was something of every type video. So this one was around 3,000 words. And right now I have my microphone set up in the kind of like streaming setup that I usually do, where it has a different polar pattern. So I'll have to kind of change the knob here because right now I have it into the omnidirectional one, but when I do voiceovers, I will change it to this one, which is I think it's called cardioid, where you kind of have to talk directly into it like this. It sounds better, it just isn't as great because it completely covers my face because I have to do like this, and I also have this pop filter that I use. I don't really bother using it for streaming, but for video voiceovers I do. And I also have this pillow right here. This just kind of insulates some sound and makes it sound a little nicer. So hopefully it is sounding pretty good, and I can get on with the recording. Being a dual type as opposed to a monotype is almost always better, as it gives you stab on another type, making your offense stronger. So while it is one of the most important parts, the voiceover is also my least favorite part. Something you should know about me is that I was diagnosed with a voice disorder called spasmodic dysphonia a few years ago, which I did around 8 months of speech therapy for and did treatments for, which is why the sound and quality of my voice really fluctuates in my earlier videos. Ogerpon and Urshifu are undoubtedly some of the strongest competitive Pokemon in VGC. I've mostly gotten over these issues and no longer need the treatment, but it still takes me forever to record voiceovers, since I record one sentence at a time and just cut out the parts in between, because I'd mess up way too much and run out of breath way too much otherwise. This one in particular was around 18 minutes of audio, and it took me around an hour to record, which was honestly on the shorter side. One of the reasons I decided to make this video, by the way, is because I've been accused here and there of using AI in my videos, either AI voice, AI to write scripts, or just AI in general, which I would like to address. First, AI voice. While I do hate doing the voiceover, I hate AI voice even more, so believe me in that I have never used and never plan on using AI voice in any of my videos, and hopefully showing this whole process proves that. As for AI scripts, I have never used AI to generate a script for me or anything like that, although I will admit that I have tried using AI just to see if it could give me any good video ideas. But after learning more about the environmental issues with AI and the ethical issues with deepfakes and spreading misinformation and stuff like that, I've completely stopped using it, and I assure you that all my scripts are completely human written. If you need any confirmation that my scripts are human written, here's me putting as much of my script for this video as would fit into 3 different AI text detectors, and I understand that these aren't always accurate, but they all came out as 0% AI, 100% human text, so do what you will with that information. I also understand that by making this video members only, those AI accusers won't see this evidence, but it's not like they're going to listen anyway, and really as long as my most loyal viewers are still with me, that's all I really care about. Anyway, once I get everything recorded, I'll put a preset noise gate filter, which helps to cut out some of the background noise to make sure that all you hear is my voice. Before moving on, here's a breakdown of all the software and hardware I use so that you know what I'm talking about. I use Audacity to record voiceovers, OBS Studio to record gameplay, Adobe Photoshop to make graphics and thumbnails, and Adobe Premiere Pro for editing. I use a HyperX Quadcast S USB condenser microphone for recording audio, some pop filter I got on Amazon, some microphone arm that I got on Amazon, an Elgato HD60S to capture game footage. My computer is a pre-built Corsair Vengeance i7-500. My computer is a SteelSeries Apex Pro 2. My mouse is some wireless mouse I got on Amazon. And my monitors are some Acer monitors that I got from Best Buy. First thing I do for editing is making the Premiere Pro project file and add a sequence with the settings of 60 frames per second, 1920 by 1080 resolution, square pixels, and default everything else. I'll add the background, which by the way is literally just a still from Scarlet and Violet's Battle Stadium menu with a slight 30% Gaussian blur effect to it. I'll add the voiceover audio file and do a bunch of cuts, putting in pauses where necessary and taking out pauses where unnecessary. I'll put a 1.5-second pause between the intro and the first entry, and the last entry in the outro, and a second pause from entry to entry. I'll start by sectioning off each entry in the body of the video and adding the most necessary graphics, which for this video is a specific Pokemon and a specific type icon. I'll then go in and put the necessary moves, items, abilities, type effectiveness, stats, or whatever graphics that each entry needs. Since this was one of the first videos I did using my new Champions graphics, I had to spend a lot of time making them, whereas before I wouldn't since they would already be made. How I make them, by the way, is I made a custom template for each of them in Photoshop and make them manually one by one, changing the name, description, and whatever other details it needs. I know that I could probably create a program that could automate it and have it do it all for me instead of doing them all one by one, but I assure you that I am so bad at coding that it would be faster to just do them all manually. For the thumbnail, I have a master file that I use for thumbnails, and I make sure to keep them really simple and will always try to make sure that what I include in the thumbnail is the first or second thing that I talk about in the video to not make them misleading, since I hate when other YouTubers do that. I find alternate artwork of each Pokemon by going into the Bulba Garden archives under each Pokemon's main official artwork on Bulbapedia and look for their dream sprites, since I think it adds a little more flavor by not just using their main official artwork all the time. I'll also take breaks to respond to comments, and I do this by going into the Community tab in YouTube Studio that allows you to sort by all newest comments on your channel, and I'll just go in and respond to as many as I can. This was a few days after my Every Pokemon Generation Stat Archetype video, but I'll also respond to comments from any other videos. I've had people accusing me of not actually reading all comments, or accusing me of using AI to respond to comments, which I don't even know how that would work, so I wanted to show this as well. Back to the editing, I'll always do the body first before doing the intro and outro, because for the intro, I always just have to put some generic visuals, since I don't want to spoil what mons I picked, although I usually will end up spoiling a little bit of the content. And the outro is always super easy, since I say pretty much the same things and have the same visuals for it. Once I'm done with those, I'll add the finishing touches on the day of posting, which are the nice comments from the previous video that I like to highlight, and the updated members list. I still haven't found a great way to copy and paste members from my members list, since downloading them in an Excel file corrupts any names that use special characters, so I have to go in manually and fix them. I'll also change any names for users who have requested that they be called by different names. Finally, I'll go through and proof watch the video, which doubles as a way for me to figure out timestamps that I'll put in the description for the video chapters. Finally, I'll add in the music, and I usually just pick some random battle music from Scarlet and Violet, Sword and Shield, or ZA, and make sure that it's quiet enough that it's not overbearing, but loud enough that it's not just my voice that you hear. In showing my video making process, this is not me asking for help. Like, I'm not looking for an editor or a thumbnail artist or anything. And I know that my editing and thumbnails are pretty basic, but I don't really care because this is what I do for fun, and having someone else do it for me would really take the fun out of it, even if it might be higher quality. And honestly, this was probably not the best video to do a behind the scenes on, since it's a little longer at 18 minutes, whereas most of my other videos are more like 14 minutes. And it was one of the first ones where I used my new Move graphics, so I had to spend a lot of time making those when normally I'd have them already made. But yeah, that is pretty much it. Feel free to stop watching now, as the rest of the video will just be a full editing time lapse in 16 times speed with some music over it, just in case you wanted to see the whole thing, because I had to cut out a lot in order to keep my explanation short. Thanks for watching, and let me know if you want to see me do this again, or if you have any other video suggestions.